Yes, indeed. Welcome into another episode of Rip N Riff here on the Rip N Riff YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook network. I am, of course, at Pucking Thoughts, and the man to, if you're looking on the screen to my right, is at Mr. Jared Moore. Jared, fresh off a appearance off Total Hockey Now yesterday, filling in for Ant Rivera 2 days in a row for us. Are you sick of me yet?
No, I'm not sick of you. I mean, we've worked together for many, many years, and you know, I genuinely like you as a person, and I don't say that about a lot of people. So, no, I'm definitely not sick of you yet.
All right, now that gives me a very good segue into our guest today, because you say
here's someone we can't stand as a person.
Justin Fensterman, our old buddy from the playbook, currently on the let's see here. You got quite the resume. So you got a SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio, Fantasy Guru, and 1450 AM in Maryland, WTHU, I believe.
That's right.
Oldies.
That's right. Classic oldies from the 50s, 60s, and the early to mid 70s. Rocking the Concoctons all week long, boys, 3 to 6 p.m. It's great being with you. And when I say great, I put great in quotation marks, especially with you, Jared.
No, 100%. I mean, we asked Ronis first, but quote, he was too busy having sex with women to hang out with us nerds. So I don't blame him.
Believe that too.
That's not one of those where like always blowing me off with a BS excuse. It's like, no, that sounds about right for him. So, maybe next time.
Yes, exactly. I mean, who's doing the blowing up? Never mind. Forget what I just said.
Moving along, Fensty, of course, here. We're going to talk, these two guys right here, big wrestling fans, NBA playoffs going on. We're going to talk about all that here today. And why don't we get right to what are we ripping today? Let's pull that up on the screen here. So I'm gonna go a little rogue today. I got a baseball pack here. It's going to be a 93 Donruss there. Not great rookies. JT Snow, Sterling Hitchcock. Loved him on the Yankees in the mid-90s. We got some Masters of the Game, Diamond Kings, and MVPs. Jared's going to go with some wrestling there. Some AEW you got, it looks like?
Yeah, some AEW cards. Probably a little SmackDown cards as well. I mean, we're really lowering the bar this week, chasing that JT Snow rookie. So I figured let's bring in the fake sport, and we'll get into some of that. Let's get into what Fency's getting into, though, because I'm intrigued by that.
Yeah.
Well, guys, for me, I'm going with both the actually not fake sport. It's choreographed, all right, Jared? Wrestling is not fake. But I'm going
that's right. The NBA is fake. My bad.
You know what? I can't argue against that with some of the results that we've seen. So I'm going to be going with one of these hoops packs. The reason why I have the Spurs jersey on is because not only Tim Duncan is my favorite player of all time, but also because I want to manifest the Victor Wembanyama rookie that could be in one of these packs right here. That's the big prize in one of these that I'm hoping to get. And then
nice. I hope you didn't pay $60 per pack like the place I went to last week wanted.
No, I did, man. I paid for this. I paid like $8 a pack, and even I was like, and I remember back when the pandemic first started and the card craze came back, these packs were like $21, and I'm like, dude, I remember getting like an entire box for $21 of hoops cards. Now per pack, it's gone down a little bit. So I've got these. This I paid a little bit more for, and I think it's worth it. When you guys had Dave LaGreca on, I believe I saw him have a few of these packs. 1987 Topps WrestleMania cards, guys.
Nice.
And in this, and I don't like to look up everything, but there are two cards that we're trying to get in one of these two packs that I have. One of them being a Bret Hart rookie card, which a 10 graded mint Bret Hart rookie card is worth $7,500. And there's a Macho Man and Elizabeth card that's also considered to be a Macho Man rookie as well that could be in one of the two packs I have.
The Bret Hart rookie card would go very nicely with this Bret Hart autographed figure.
Wow, the excellence of execution right there. That's really cool.
The best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be.
And I love that you used a pink marker to have that sign too. Like that's like a nice touch.
That's the only color you could use with Bret Hart.
Of course. So now we're excited to rip those packs, but we got to set the table here. Now, last week, Jared talked about the price of packs on Rip N Rant. So let's see what we're going to rip and rant about today. It's time to kick things off on Rip N Riff with
my Rip N Rant.
Thanks, Dave. All right. So Jared, do you want to start off? Fensty, do you want to go? I mean, I've got my topic. I know Jared's topic too, but who wants to kick off here?
I'll start it because this has been bugging me for quite a while, and I'm just going to come out and say it. Not everything needs a documentary. I know there's a lot of streaming services this day, and a lot of networks are looking to fill content and fill airtime. I mean, if they're looking to fill content and airtime, I would suggest picking up this show because it's probably more entertaining than a lot of that stuff, but I digress. So earlier today, I saw the trailer for Peacock's doing a documentary series about the 1990 Yankees, which I'm actually intrigued by because I don't know a lot about that team. And, it's titled The Bronx Zoo 1990 or whatever it's called. And it tells some of the crazy stories about some of the players back then. And as a Yankee fan, I'd be interested in that. But just generally speaking, there's just way too many sports documentaries that don't need to exist. And I feel like we're not that far away from the Patty Mills story where it'd be all right, enough's enough. We don't need any more sports documentaries. I don't need to know about Josh Rosen's 1 year in Arizona. I don't need to know about, the 12th guy on the bench on the Cavs team that won the title with LeBron. I don't care.
Coming up on 30 for 30, the backstory of Billy the Marlin, the Miami Marlins mascot.
What if I told you about Daniel Boobie Gibson?
Exactly. I don't need the Matthew Dellavedova story. I was there. I watched the games. I saw it live, and then it ended. I don't need it. I mean, there's just way too many sports documentaries, and I think what was probably the tipping point was the 18th different dynasty we got on the Brady Belichick era Patriots, and the one that that Robert Kraft signed off on that buried Belichick. It's just enough's enough.
Yeah. I know there's a million streaming services and ways to distribute content and stuff like that, but like you said, not everything needs an in-depth review and backstory and all that stuff. We're going to talk about Smush Parker's career next, from Fordham to the Lakers. What are we doing here?
That's actually Kobe Bryant's least favorite teammate.
Yes.
Smush Parker.
But are we going to do a full-blown documentary on it? What are we doing here?
That's actually an idea right here. By the way, guys, here's one that's just coming out that I heard that The Rock is actually behind, and that's the who contributed to the death of WCW World Championship Wrestling.
That's a perfect example.
Right. How many documentaries? We all know how the company died. Bad decisions in 99 and 2000. How many documentaries can come out about this? A 4-part documentary is coming out. What haven't we learned about it yet?
Now, I will say there are 2 documentaries. If they were announced, I would drop what I'm doing to watch it. Any documentary of Kobe Bryant being insane stories, just Kobe being an insane teammate, the insane workaholic, and some of the stories that you've heard with him over the years, I would drop what I'm doing to watch that. And any documentary on Haku. And just Haku being the toughest guy ever, behind the scenes. I would watch anything on that. Aside from those 2, I don't give a shit.
Well, now we know what Jared's preferences are in terms of learning beyond, via documentary. But yeah, next we're going to have documentaries about the documentary, about the making of the documentary. That's the next step here.
Right. And I'm not trying to shit on the people who make it. They do good work, I'm sure. And, I think the genesis of all this was the 30 for 30, which, by the way, there's now been 170 of them. So, so much for the whole 30 for 30. But, and some of them were really good, and I'm not trying to crap on that, but there's also I can't remember the one that they did where I was just you know what, I think I'm out on this series. I don't need to watch any more of them. But if I can think of it while you guys are ranting, I'll mention it.
ESPN can continue to call the series 30 for 30 until the Big Ten Conference actually acknowledges that they are well past 10 teams by now. Then they can carry. If they can do it, then ESPN can do it. Fair enough.
Right. 100%.
Now, I'm going to take this back to my rant today and this is fantasy sports related. This almost feels like a Fensty monologue on the playbook, but just because a trade is offered and just because it's a good trade, that does not mean I have to accept it just because it is a fair value trade. If it is going to cause more work for me in terms of roster space and stuff like that, it's just sometimes people get caught up in I'm going to offer you a ton for one. And it's right, but you're giving me a headache now in terms of roster construction and stuff like you offered a fair trade. I looked at it. I like it. I don't want to do it. I said I don't want to do it. Stop offering me a million offers. Like, enough's enough. Like that stuff annoys me. It's like when I propose a trade to somebody, I actually look at the other side and say, if I was on that side, would I take this trade? Would this trade benefit me? Nobody does that anymore. And it's kind of annoying.
Amen to that. Amen to that. I mean, what else is there more to say? We used to talk about this all the time on the playbook here. And this also goes with the whole, first offer is a waste if it's not a first offer. That's to be considered. The whole concept of, well, we got to start somewhere. Don't waste my freaking time.
Yes.
So can I bounce something off you guys? Because Dr. Roto tweeted about this the other day, and this was a dynasty trade that happened in our league, the league that you're not in, Adam.
Okay.
So I want to run this dynasty trade by you guys, just because it's really a two-parter. Because we're in this league with this one guy who likes to make a lot of, for lack of a better term, batshit crazy trades. So we traded 10 picks to move up from 110 to 102 to draft Malik Neighbors. So 1, 2, 3, like 3 first-round picks, 3 second-round picks, 3 third-round picks, and like a 5th or whatever to move up 8 spots again. So, all right. So that's setting up this next trade. So the person who got all those picks back basically traded half those picks, 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and a third for Joe Burrow, Saquon Barkley, Jonathan Taylor, and Cooper Kupp in a dynasty league.
Kupp's good, but Burrow's good. Barkley,
yeah, like all good players. Like Saquon Barkley's been productive. I don't know how he's going to be in Philadelphia, but Jonathan Taylor could be a top 5 running back if he's healthy. My takeaway on that trade when I was asked about it by somebody else was just probably a little light on the draft picks, but not something that I would necessarily go and bitch about, which Dr. Roto, I don't want to say bitch because we like Dr. Roto. He's a nice guy, but he was very front and public about that, complaining about our trade on Twitter. And I say our trade, like I'm in it. I'm not in the trade. Like I don't care. I'm a neutral party.
I'm a laissez-faire guy. I think all trades should go through unless it's something that is blatantly okay, that's not okay there. To me, everybody's got different motivations. I hate that, because people will veto out of spite. Oh, I thought I offered you a better trade. So, you know what? Even though it's a fair trade, I'm not going to allow it because I didn't get my guy. You know what I mean? So, I hate the vetoing process to begin with. All trades should go through unless it's Joe Burrow for a 6th round pick 3 years from now. Okay, that can't go through. You know what I mean? But other than that, everything should be allowed.
Yeah, trade vetoing causes a lot of problems. And people are only going to vote based on what benefits them. I think they should all go through the commissioner, and that commissioner, like you said, Adam, should only have that kind of power if the trade is absolutely ridiculous. When it comes to dynasty trades, I don't try to get stuck on name value because a lot of people that are trading for the future are trying to stock up on as many draft picks. We see it in real sports. We see it in fantasy sports all the time. So that's where you got to kind of separate the name from the name itself to, well, how many years can I expect full value from a guy like Saquon Barkley, a guy like Jonathan Taylor, guys who have been banged up the last couple of years now. So you got to remember that too when you're going in, because the trades and the draft picks actually have a lot more value than in a redraft league when it comes to those players. So that's where I try to separate the names just a little bit.
Yeah, I'm in a rough spot too with Saquon Barkley. Not to rub more salt in Adam's wound, but I am the 2-time defending champion in this league, and I do have
2 middle fingers
Barkley.
for you.
And I do have Saquon Barkley, and I'm sort of trying to balance that whole win now versus plan for the future thing, which is very tough to do when you're at the top of the mountain.
If I get to the finals and go 0-for-7 consecutively, I don't know how I deal with that. I don't know. I may just leave the league. You may never hear from me again. I don't know. I'll worry about that bridge when I get there. Now, Fensty, what do you got today?
My rant is going to be very simple. I'm all about utilizing social media for announcements and everything. What I'm not about, which is so annoying, and people still do this, announcing that you have an announcement coming up, because I think it's pointless. I think it's counterproductive. Just give the freaking announcement. What's the point? Nobody is going to create a schedule calendar invite
An
for
alert
themselves to make sure they go back to your social media 3 days from now to check to see if you made the announcement. And then from what I've seen from certain people that do this all the time, guys, sometimes they don't make the announcement. Imagine if I went on their Facebook wall and I said, hey, whatever happened to your big announcement? Then I look like the asshole, right? Mm-hmm. But I just want to know the announcement. You promoted the announcement. Why don't you just announce what you're going to announce, even if it's a few days from now? There's someone in this industry, in the fantasy sports industry, that does this all the time. I see it on LinkedIn. I see it on Twitter. I see it all over. Just announce when you're having the announcement. Just announce what the announcement is. Don't do this whole, wow, at the end of the week, I've got something great. Even 8 hours from now, just wait the 8 hours and have the entire shock value, bam effect, all in one sitting. Nobody gives a shit if 8 hours from now you have an announcement.
Right. Like I get like NDAs are a thing, or like if you're switching jobs or something, you might not be able to necessarily announce it like then and there. Like, you know, maybe you're starting a new job next week or something, but that you don't necessarily have, I'm with you, Fancy. You don't have to announce that you're going to announce something big, like multiple. I'd even go as far as to say you don't necessarily need to announce the announcement. I guess it really depends what it is. Like if you're getting, you know, if you're landing your dream job, yeah, hell yeah. You know, shout that shit from the mountaintops.
Of course.
And, have your victory lap. But, you know, if you're starting a new job, you know, as, you know, entry level for whatever, I don't know that you necessarily need to share that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this, that announcement for an announcement, like if you're a band that hasn't released an album or hasn't done anything forever and you want to, like, you're coming out of nowhere to be like, hey, big announcement coming next week. All right, now you're generating interest, you're peaking, like, oh, what's going on? For people that post, you know, tweet or post like multiple times a day, like, yeah, just when you got the news, let me know. That's all.
Right. And the counter to that argument, Adam, is like, you know, if you're George R.R. Martin and you're like, oh, I just wrote some pages for the next Game of Thrones book that's never going to fucking come out, then yeah, I can understand why people are be like, yeah, that's, you know, just let us know when the book's going to come out, buddy.
Yeah.
Does it make us part of the problem, or does it make us bad people? For now, you've got us intrigued that you're making an announcement. Now I'm going to write all over your social media, hey, buddy, you said we were going to have an announcement Friday morning. It's now Saturday afternoon. What was the announcement supposed to be?
No, because I'm never going to follow up with that because I'm probably not going to remember it. And I don't care enough to follow up. Like if you have something that's that important that you have to involve me in your life, you know, you can have a direct conversation with me.
Just give the announcement. That's all you have to do.
Or that.
That's all you have to do. Give the announcement or don't give the announcement. You want all that shock value not to be in the anticipation, but you want it to be in the actual announcement. People are just so stupid.
That was a good Rip and Rant. That was a strong one from a guest. I like that. He came heavy. I like it. I think it's time to start ripping some packs though here. We're about 20 minutes in. So we got the wrestling belt on the shoulder. I feel like we should probably go basketball first and then just dive right into wrestling, and then I can kind of bring it back at the end. So why don't we go some NBA hoops here and talk a little NBA playoffs?
All right, Fancy, let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. So with the playoffs so far, interesting that we have a few of those Western series completed, and these Eastern series are getting more interesting here, including the Knicks having a chance to end the Sixers. Now they're going back to Philly. That's what we call not ideal, boys, because Joel Embiid has been absolutely destroying them. This is, again, 2023-2024 hoops here. So we start out with one of my least favorite teams, and that is the Brooklyn Nets. Hard team to figure out from a betting standpoint, hard team to figure out for who you could trust, and that's because they've tried to build this team around Mikal Bridges, who you see here.
Yeah, it's definitely been dark days for the Nets here for at least a few years. I mean, it's and no end and no hope in sight for now, right? Like that's just not going to get any better.
No, Kevin Durant, James Harden, Kyrie, that whole situation kind of screwed them. So they're right now currently trying to balance their finances at this point. So
yeah, like best case scenario for them would be if Ben Simmons can stay healthy enough for long enough this year where they actually flip him for something, anything at this point.
Yeah,
and they turn around and flip Bridges for like whatever first round picks they can get to make up for all the picks they gave up, and Durant and Harden and all those guys.
Yeah, they're pretty screwed for the next few years. Marjon Beauchamp is someone who's a back end of the rotation player for
pulled him last week.
What's that?
I pulled his rookie card last week.
Oh, there you go. You might be waiting a few years for it to gain some value, but you know what? if he could get a few guards to get hurt besides Damian Lillard, you'll see him play meaningful minutes in the playoffs.
Did the Pacers blow their chance to win the series last night? Like,
no, I don't think they did. But here's the deal, and this is the thing with Indiana: it's a direct correlation. They shoot 50% from the field, they're going to win. They shoot less than 50%, they're going to lose. They play no defense. It's all in or all out for them. That's what we're seeing with Indiana. So
that's right, baby.
Which is
all
why,
in or all out.
Yeah, but I'll just say this: Indiana wins this series. There is no way they are beating the Knicks or the Sixers, two defensive powerhouses that will knock their asses to the ground.
There we go.
Seth Curry, the other Curry brother.
I think he's probably still got a pretty good life because you get the benefits of being a Curry without, Steph can't go do anything in the Bay Area without getting recognized. Seth probably could.
Yes, absolutely. And him going to the Hornets, definitely a nice little homecoming there, being that the Currys are from that area. This is a guy who I've been screwed on a couple of bets lately, and his name is Wendell Carter Jr. because his point props guys are always very low, even during the playoffs too. But then his minutes are very wonky, so it's kind of screwed us a little bit. But the Magic, they're hanging in there in a good series with Cleveland after falling down 0-2. They won both games in Orlando and unfortunately lost by a very narrow margin last night to be down 3-2. But they're playing a very tough series and they drew a very bad matchup, unfortunately.
All right, now I'm going to look at the West for a minute. Mavericks Clippers. What do we see happening there?
I mean, I still believe in the Clippers at the end of the day. Kawhi Leonard being out just par for the course there. But this Clippers team can play decent enough defense to contain the Mavericks front court. Their backcourt will do whatever they want to the Clippers for the most part. But I think at the end of the day, the Clippers barely outlast Dallas. A lot of people disagree, but I don't think either team beats Oklahoma City in the second round.
Quick question about the Seth Curry card. Does that go in the collection with the less famous brother card with like Ozzie Canseco and Jeremy Giambi and
Martinez,
Bill Ripken?
Yes, absolutely.
We called the Bill Ripken All-Stars.
Well, you know what's funny? Bill Ripken might have the most legendary card between the Ripken brothers.
I have his card. I have that card.
I feel like you almost have to have, if you're a collector of baseball, you have to have that Bill Ripken card.
100%. I need to get that one graded, but I do have that card.
Former host on SiriusXM as well, Bill Ripken.
Yeah, nice guy. I like him.
Former member of the Heat, member of the Lakers, but was hurt most of the year, was brought in to solve their three-point shooting issues, but barely got off the ground. Gabe Vincent, you might remember from the finals last year.
I don't, but I appreciate you bringing that up.
Okay. Here is a rookie, Amen Thompson, who I actually like very much for the Houston Rockets. His brother Asar. This is where, Jared, I don't know which of the Thompson brothers I would put in the lesser brother pile because both of them had flashes of greatness during their rookie year. Asar in Detroit was rebounding like crazy to start. Then he kind of got neutralized by the opposing defenses in the NBA. His brother Amen actually got more playing time, we saw, when Alperen Şengün got hurt. And we saw him bring it not only on the offensive side, but the defensive side. So this might actually have some value. And guys, I'm expecting over the next couple of years, the Rockets are getting more and more built up. They stay healthy. They're going to compete.
Well, they're doing it the right way. They bottomed out.
Follow-up question. Are they twin brothers?
Yes.
So to borrow an old Mike Francesism, do the Thompson twins and the Thompson twins, like the band from the 80s, do they get together for lunch when they're in town?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, actually. If I can ask Amen Thompson any question, it would be that question. So, yes.
Was it?
He's probably young enough. He has no idea who the Thompson twins were.
All I know is there's a Thompson twins song on the Wedding Singer movie soundtrack. So, like every other 80s song that there is. So, I guess you can't, boys, have one Curry brother without the other. So here's a Steph Curry, not an insert, but still a cool looking card of Steph Curry.
That's cool. You got both brothers in the same pack.
Yes. Normally, I feel like you should be able to get a free pack from that. Too bad you can't.
It's also always nice. NBA packs, you get the star player.
Yes. And then rookie Anthony Black did get some starts for the Orlando Magic, but not a huge rotational player. I'm expecting next year him to start to get a few more minutes there. He's proven he can run the point. And another cool looking card now playing, Anthony Black.
That's a nice, I like that. That's cool.
Very nice card, and a player that went viral this year on social media for posting a photo with another rookie that I don't.
Yes,
think I
he did.
on this show.
Yes, with Grady Dick. Yes.
And
Yes, they did the old jersey swap.
Yeah, they knew what they were doing.
Oh, of course
they knew exactly what they were doing.
Yeah, they knew what
if
they were
they
doing.
didn't know what they were doing, I would have both of them take an IQ test and be like, like you didn't figure that one out on your own.
You saw the smiles on their faces.
Of
They
course.
knew what they were doing.
Good basketball pack there. I like that. But I mean, I feel like we should probably start getting into the wrestling because I feel like that's what a lot of people are tuning in for. We got a lot of those packs today. I can bring it back later with the baseball to wrap it up. So, Fence, do you want to go 87 wrestling? You want to just keep rolling here?
Yeah, I could do that. You want me to open one of my 87?
Let's
packs?
do it.
Look, I don't mean to disappoint anybody, but I really don't want to get sick. And I know you've had some guests that have eaten the 50-year-old gum. That's not going to be me, boys. I'm sorry.
But we respect your decision.
Yeah.
In fact, we encourage people not to eat the gum. So.
I know you've had at least one guest that has actually eaten the gum, as scary as this is.
Yeah, but he if anyone's going to do it, he was the guy.
Yes, he was. All right, and even a broken piece of gum too. So this is interesting here because like some of the cards are folded in and some of the cards are out. So here we go. So this again, 1987. So this is right around WrestleMania 3. The main event in that WrestleMania was Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant for the world title. Big confrontation, guys, actually happened on the day that I was born between Hulk Hogan and Andre to make that match in Piper's Pit. So,
and by the way, speaking of documentaries, the Andre the Giant one on HBO, very
solid.
That was a Bill Simmons one. That was one of the best wrestling documentaries I've ever seen.
Very solid documentary. Watched that one a few times. Outback Jack. Don't really know him too well.
Seems like a guy that tried to capitalize off the Crocodile Dundee popularity at the time and threw him in the mix.
It's like an Indiana Jones, Steve Irwin type of mix right here.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah, this is the age where like gimmicks were just running rampant.
Yeah, they were. They didn't have anything else. Being real wasn't in yet. It was ahead of its time. Business just picked up, to quote J.R. Jim Ross, a Macho Man Randy Savage rookie card.
That was one of the ones we talked about.
Oh, I love that. Is that a rookie card?
That's so when I looked up like what are the most valuable cards, I saw a few entries that did say this was a rookie card. The Hulk Hogan rookie, there was a set made in 1985. I'm sure it was issued right before the Macho Man came in, which was, I believe, as well in 1985.
I mean, that does happen where there's like an official rookie card and an unofficial rookie card. Like Mark McGuire's official rookie card is the Team USA one, but his first, some people want his first A's one. His first A's.
You know that famous Fleer pack of Michael Jordan with the famous Michael Jordan rookie card. Mm-hmm. And I know you had Corey Parson on. He has that card blown up like as a poster in his back. So that pack actually has, because there weren't cards issued between them, Isaiah Thomas as a rookie card, Karl Malone as a rookie card, a major rookie class. So this is in a way kind of like that. So we're going to put this off to the side. And
there's a sleeve for you, bud.
Yes, thank you very much. Well, that's pretty good luck right there.
That's a good start right
there. Is our second card. I might have to get that graded. The magnificent Don Morocco, who was the original Rock, by the way, because he became Don the Rock Morocco, and then Dwayne Johnson took that nickname later on.
If there was ever a picture to put in the dictionary of 1980s wrestler, that is it right there. Generic 1980s wrestler.
Yes. Don Morocco.
I love the red, white, and blue America theme on the
board. It's cool.
Yeah.
One of my least favorite wrestlers, but it's him getting flipped by Jake the Snake Roberts. I can't stand the honky tonk man. So I guess he actually did his job, because that was his job, to make people not stand him. AB, you remember a honky tonk man, the Elvis impersonator?
Mm-hmm. I remember. I think I had his wrestling figure too.
Nice. Well, he's one of my least favorite wrestlers, and Jake the Snake Roberts is flipping him while he's in his full gear, his full Elvis getup. So that's pretty cool.
So like wrestling has kind of fallen by the wayside for me over the years, but I will say this, the Jake the Snake Roberts moment where he locks the Ultimate Warrior and the snake, like with the snakes, like that, for whatever reason, that is burned in my brain. Like,
that was the big heel turn for Jake Roberts with the whole trust me.
Yes.
Yeah. That was when he changed his theme song. He played the heel version of his character so well, because, it was all in his eyes. Jake Roberts always had such great psychology. And a lot of it was how he would walk to the ring so slowly, kind of like The Undertaker, the way he would do it. The way Jake Roberts, the look on his face, the whole, trust me. So That was his heel time. Here is actually one of my favorite tag teams of all time, out to destroy the Demolition. I love their theme song. I don't know if you guys remember from our days on the playbook, but Adam Ronis would always make fun of me that I could never make the playoffs in his home fantasy basketball league.
Correct.
Well, this past season, I changed the team name to the Demolition Walking Disaster, to quote their theme song, and I won the championship.
Sometimes that's all it takes is like, a rebrand, a new jersey, a new helmet, whatever it takes. You got to get there.
They say that the Demolition were ripoffs of the Road Warriors. It was the WWF's version before the Road Warriors came. I liked both teams. I thought both teams were great. Axe and Smash and later Crush. So I'm a big Demolition guy.
Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, they say. Just because you might be a ripoff doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing.
Right.
In some cases.
Here's a weird card, boys. I don't know what this is. And when I did my research, I couldn't find what this was. This is like a very weird and kind of like what feels like a double card of Hulk Hogan. And
Trying to look it up.
It's him with the American flag. It's got an orange border. It's collect all 10 cards of picture A. So it's very...
You know what that is? That is a sticker card, but that probably doesn't peel anymore because it's bordering on 40 years old.
Well, yeah, this is a Hulk Hogan sticker card then.
There you go. Yeah, I just looked it up. Yeah, that's a sticker card. There's 10 total in the set. So it's a good pack here, man.
Yeah, this is actually a very great pack. Over the top. I don't know. I think this is Dangerous Danny Davis. I think getting flipped over here. Jared, do you know a lot of old school wrestling from like the 80s?
I certainly don't know that. No.
Yep. So is
a little before my time.
This might be Tito Danny Davis. Yep. Getting flipped by Tito Santana, who was also known at one point as El Matador.
See, that's a good name, El Matador. Like, that's a wrestling name right there.
Former Intercontinental Champion actually lost it to the Macho Man Randy Savage in controversial fashion. Oh, my God. Again, this is the pack that keeps on giving. Another Hulk Hogan card.
And that's like prime Hulk right there. Like, that's like, yeah, that's a good look.
Mid-80s title.
I feel like a wrestling pack this year, like if you don't get a Hulk Hogan card of some variety in that pack, they just did it wrong.
You get a refund. The Olympian returns. I believe this is Ken Patera, the Olympian, who I just got here.
So he looks like an Olympian.
Yes, he does.
Yeah,
he does. Greco-Roman wrestling right here, this guy. And then finally, Scare Tactics, another Demolition. This is Demolition just looking scary. This was when they first came into the WWE. They rocked this look with the masks and everything.
I got to be honest, there is a local chain of, we'll say, adult stores called Spice, and that looks like something you could buy in the store Spice.
Yeah, I agree with you. If you want to get kinky, if you're into that stuff.
Yes.
Nice. Very solid pack.
Yeah, man. I'll take it. I've been pretty lucky with you guys. This is my second appearance on Rip N Riff, and you know what? This is one of the best packs I've ever had.
That really is that was good.
Yeah, getting the Macho Man rookie right there is worth it.
Absolutely.
So we'll go a little more modern. We'll go towards like the peak of the Attitude Era. I want to start with the SmackDown collector card pack.
Yes.
I want to see what's in here. And this is like right around the time that I started watching. So
this is when you sent me the pack pictures. Like that was the one. I'm like, all right, I'm into that one. That one is intriguing.
Yep, those look like they're from 1999, 2000 area.
Right. So
99.
The one thing I could tell you right off the top is they don't really have like the border or anything that says like who the wrestler is or like what they're doing. It's really just more like wallet size photos. But like you start here with the classic Mr. McMahon in the hospital with with Mankind going to cheer him up with Mr. Sacco.
That was the debut of Mr. Sacco.
Oh, that's right. That was the debut.
That's how Mr. Sacco became a thing.
And then obviously the very famous scene where Stone Cold hit him with the bedpan.
Oh, I'll take it from here, nurse. And then he comes running over and hits him with the bedpan.
Exactly. You get an action shot here of the Undertaker with the putting the choke slam on the Big Show. Well, he's about to put the choke slam. He's got him by the throat there.
War is war.
They were actually aligned right after the corporate ministry disbanded. They were aligned, and then the Undertaker took time off, and then that's when he returned months later with the biker gimmick.
Okay, so all these cards have like the information on the back. So going back to the Mr. Sacco one, this one explains it. Mick Foley discovers Mr. Sacco, so that references that, and this is an Undertaker card. We go right to I guess we could kind of say this is a double card. We have Al Snow with head. What does everybody want? Head. What does everybody need?
Head.
We go right from that to the People's Champ, the final boss, Dwayne himself.
Did great in WrestleMania this year. Leading up to WrestleMania, that whole angle was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, I'm such a huge mark for The Rock. He's probably
great.
The best ever.
He's absolutely great, and he doesn't have to be PG, which is awesome. He never has, even during the height of the PG era.
Especially doesn't now that he's on the board of directors.
No, he's like the number 2 guy.
So we go right from that to Jerry the King Lawler, legendary commentary team with him and Jim Ross.
Yep.
I know you said the front of the cards are basic, but I do like the design on the back. That's cool. They did a good job with that.
Yeah, and they just put a little information on the back, like height, weight, where they're from, what's their finishing move, and then just like a little description of the cards. So like this one's talking about how, Lawler's a legend in his hometown of Memphis, Tennessee, where, he was an active competitor for 30 years at the time, which, I mean, now it's probably like 50 years. Although I'd imagine Lawler's probably not competing all that much anymore now. He's probably has heart issues.
You guys see the movie Man on the Moon?
Oh, the Andy Kaufman story?
Yes.
Yes.
That had that was his rivalry. That was his rival.
Right. Yeah.
Jerry the King Lawler.
We go from that to one of my favorite guys for what he was at the time. The Lethal Weapon, Steve Blackman.
Oh, amazing.
Just like a badass entrance theme, like a no nonsense approach to the ring. He was in all those hardcore matches, which were always a train wreck to watch. Fantastic stuff there.
Tag team partner of Al Snow, Head Cheese.
Yeah, Head Cheese. So it's nice that I got the tag team united here. We have the Big Show's debut here. So I don't know if that technically, it's not a Big Show rookie card because obviously he was the giant in WCW.
Yep. That was at St. Valentine's Day Massacre 1999.
Yep. As it says right on the back.
He doesn't need the back of the card. He's got it all.
We got Shane O'Mac.
There you go.
Looking very, very youthful here. He's probably in his 20s there. We have...
That could be a rookie card for Shane McMahon.
Possibly it would qualify.
Maybe, yeah.
I mean, he really started making appearances towards the end of 1998, I'd say, right before the formation of the corporation.
Yep. We got X-Pac and Road Dogg. I guess when they were together as a team, it's not so much a DX or New Age Outlaws. It literally just says in the back X-Pac and Road Dogg.
DX split at that point, and it was kind of like for a little bit, Billy Gunn aligned with Triple H, and Road Dogg and X-Pac were a team.
Did any wrestling tag team have more influence over like prepubescent boys than DX? With that?
Probably not. Probably not. I'd say maybe the Outsiders, if anything. But
we all definitely got in trouble at one point or another doing the crotch chop.
Yes, 1,000%. You could barely wear wrestling T-shirts to school. I remember a few times where I was told if there was like even like South Park blood or anything on the shirt, I'd have to like turn the shirt inside out.
All right, I got 2 more cards in this pack before we go to AEW, but let's settle the age-old debate: DX or NWO?
NWO.
Yeah.
I think the NWO laid the foundation for DX. That's why.
Right. And they're just so cool. There's something about like the classic, like too cool for school, bad guy that's just so easy to root for. That's why I love the classic wrestling heel. Like, obviously he was in the NWO as well, but like Razor Ramon was just like the coolest person, the coolest character. Yeah, Chicas are for fun, man.
Yeah. No, he was great. Razor Ramon or Scott Hall, either character was excellent.
Yeah, another pretty cool bad guy was Triple H with China. Now he's running the entire show in WWE. So, and I think they're in a good shape with him. at the helm long term.
That was right. That picture I could tell is right before he changed his look when he turned on DX at WrestleMania 15, and then you see him in pants there. Not so long after that, he changed his look to shorts because it made it look badass. He cut his hair as well because he wanted to be the cerebral assassin. So
yeah. And I'm not going to do the impression, but this is a funny final card for the pack with the look on his face. The late great Paul Bearer.
Yeah.
My Undertaker. Woo!
Yeah, that's like quintessential Paul Bearer, that shot right there.
That's right.
So very pleased with that pack. We didn't get any of those specialty inserts, but very happy to see that. But now I want to kind of get into the more modern guys. So we'll go right to the AEWs.
I'm loving this, by the way, if you couldn't tell.
Yeah, it's a good. If you're a wrestling fan, how could you not be having a good time? We're going across the eras here, and we did a little basketball playoffs, kept it topical.
Exactly.
Yep. And we go right to, and these are upper deck, so you're getting some quality here. AEW, we'll start with Riho in the women's division. She's not on very often, but I always like what I see from her.
Yeah, the crowd seems to like her. I believe she was the first AEW women's champion.
I believe so, yeah. It might say that on the back. No, it doesn't say that on the back, but
okay. I thought Riho was the first AEW women's champion.
No, I think you're right on that. It just doesn't say it on the card.
It's either her or Hikaru Shida.
Yep. We got Stu Grayson, formerly of the Dark Order.
Yeah, I kind of like Dark Order got a big push right at the beginning, but then it kind of just flatlined. And yeah, the Evil Uno wasn't badass enough.
Well, I mean, when the whole thing with when Brody Lee passed, it was kind of the end of
Brody Lee. Yes.
Yep.
Riho defeated Hikaru Shida, by the way, for the first women's ever title.
Oh, there you go.
Thank you. Appreciate the correction there. We got a tag team card here, Varsity Blondes. So you'll see a lot of Brian Pillman Jr. In WWE soon under his new name of Lexus King, and Griff Garrison, who's not really doing much of anything right now.
Yeah. Julia Hart, though, who was their manager and part of the
start of that team. Yeah. And she's got a badass entrance team.
Well, no, now she's part of the with the House of Black. And she just lost. She had the TBS title for a while. She just lost it to.
She just dropped it to Willow.
Yeah.
Vicky Guerrero. We got a manager's card. One of the all-time heat magnets in wrestling history.
I was actually at Vicky Guerrero's last WWE appearance when she put Stephanie McMahon in the mud. It was really cool.
A main features insert card here with one half of one of the best tag teams in the world right now, Cash Wheeler with FTR.
Yeah, that's a good card.
Yep. We go to Red Velvet, part of the women's division there. She's pretty good.
Stir it up. Yep.
And we close out this pack with two heavy hitters here, both from the same city. And one of them we'll probably see make his return this week on Dynamite. We have Kenny Omega.
That's good.
Yeah, I got a feeling with that storyline with Tony Khan, they're going to bring him out to be like the new authority figure or something.
He keeps getting hurt, though. I'm kind of concerned about him.
Yeah, you always hate to see that. And Le Champion, the legend himself, Chris Jericho.
Yeah,
still going strong in his 50s.
He gives a new gimmick for himself every time. Now he's the learning tree, and he was trying to get Taz's son to kind of go with him, and Taz's son like, nah. So hit Taz's son in the head with a bat. He puts himself in good spots, Chris Jericho.
Yeah, I mean, he's at the stage of his career. He should be helping other guys get over. I don't know how much he really did for Hook there, because I feel like Hook's already pretty over, but you could definitely do a lot of good stuff with Chris Jericho on your roster.
Sure.
Here's a guy who very much looks like a professional wrestler. Our guy Wardlow.
Yeah, it's just he's got no mic skills or anything like that, so that's going to hold him back, unfortunately.
But you know what? That one promo he cut where he was like complaining about like the opportunities he has or hasn't gotten, like that was a good promo. So like I feel like that's a guy where, if you strap the rocket to his back, I feel like you could do something with him. But I think my biggest issue with AEW is so many guys are hurt so often and they just disappear off TV for a while that it's hard for any of them to like really build momentum.
I agree with that.
You were channeling Chris Collinsworth for a second. There you go. Here's a guy, and then
here's a guy. Let's see. Angelico, who I don't think is really much on TV.
Not
kind of a high flyer sort of guy. One of those definitely the type of guy you want to put on like the first match of the card to get in, to get the crowd fired up. We have Anna Jay.
She is dating Jack Perry.
God bless Jack Perry. We have Nyla Rose in her main features card.
Yep. Used to be managed by Vicky Guerrero.
Correct. Yeah. And I mentioned I have the other half of FTR. Now I have Dax Harwood as well.
Yes.
With a whole lot of shoulder athletic tape. Because
I do like that main feature series they got there. That set. That's pretty cool.
Those are cool cards.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Let's see. We have I almost just dropped the last card in the pack here. Griff Garrison, mentioned him earlier with the tag teams. He's back for another go. Matthew Jackson, not Matt. He's Matthew. He's the executive vice president, one half of the Young Bucks. Big time heels right now after attacking the boss Tony Khan, and we have a tag team here. Unfortunately, they're no longer a tag team, and I don't think either one's with AEW any longer. With Santana and Ortiz.
Yeah,
unfortunately, some real life heat between the two of them.
Yeah, I like them. I liked them when they were in the inner circle. That was cool. But then, yeah, they kind of didn't do anything with them. And by the way, credit to Tony Khan for wearing the neck brace to the NFL draft.
How great!
Perfect. That was smart Tony Khan move.
Yeah, he's selling that, and he did a good job with that. What he didn't do a good job with was when he did the interview on NFL Network, and he called WWE, like he said, AEW was the Pepsi of pro wrestling, and WWE was the Harvey Weinstein. It's like you probably don't want to go on TV calling anyone the Harvey Weinstein of anything.
Yeah, you might want to avoid that comparison.
Yes. Stupid idiot.
Probably something he said, and then he immediately was just like, oh, I really wish I didn't say that. We had Jake Hager. This is going to last pack I'm going to do because I don't want to tie up too much of this. Jake Hager, formerly Jack Swagger in WWE.
Oh, I loved when he won the world title, when he cashed in the briefcase.
Yep. Nyla Rose. I can't tell who this is, who she's with in the card here, but putting somebody in an armbar or something.
Mm-hmm.
Another manager card here, Arn Anderson, the legend himself.
Yep.
AA. I guess it's like your gold trim insert card. I don't know if this is a rookie because
it parallel.
Yeah, it doesn't really say like whether or not it's a rookie card, but I know he's an AEW original here with Ricky Starks.
Could be WWE bound soon.
No relation to John.
No relation to John Starks.
John's at like every game in the Nick Sixers series. He's at every single one.
And if I was him, I would be going too.
Yeah.
We got our insert card here with the nice border here with Angelico. Definitely putting somebody in an armbar there. So it's the same photo that they use for both cards. So I just find that one funny. A debut dates card with Thunder Rosa, who is one of the hosts on Busted Open. So shout out to her. Shout out to our buddy Dave LaGreca.
They just celebrated their 15th year anniversary, I believe. Oh, happy anniversary to them.
You know, you say that, and then I remember like 15 years ago, I was like, oh, yeah, I was on that show like 15 years ago. I was like, oh,
I can't believe Mortman was part of that, too.
He was an original. Yeah.
That's wild.
I can't believe that Mike Riker and DJ Zulo and some of the other originals that were part of that show.
I kept your nickname from that for the playbook, Jared. The people.
You did, yes.
Yep.
Last but not least, Matt Seidel, another one of the high flyers. He's probably in a lot of those matches with Angelico, although he's been on TV more of late. And last but not least, the Butcher.
Butcher, the Blade.
Yeah, I haven't seen much of the Blade lately, but
no, and the Bunny I know is badly injured. So
right, and I feel like that's one of those tag teams. They should be one of the top tag teams that they feature, but they're kind of at the bottom of the card, unfortunately. So, but somebody's got to be at the bottom, unfortunately. So I guess it's them. But Yeah, overall, very satisfied with these cards. I think I was happier with the WWE cards. I mean, I still have 5 more packs of the AEW ones, so we could definitely get to those at a future date and hopefully chase one of those autograph cards from our favorite wrestlers. So
there you go.
We will definitely see.
Now, I know I'm supposed to wrap things up with a pack of 93 Donruss baseball, 14 cards here, but we're going to call an audible. I mean, all this wrestling stuff. I've got these cards in the stash. I mean, like, how do I not open them today?
Yeah, you're holding out on us.
I cannot. I'm glad you did that, but I can't wait till we get the DMCA takedown from you playing the NWO theme.
Well, hopefully that doesn't happen. It's late enough in the episode that I might be fine, but we'll see. So let's.
You only played it for like 5 seconds. It's fine.
We got a Hulk on this pack here. Let's open it up.
What's the West Coast Rip Cam?
It's the cam that I throw in. We talked a lot about Hollywood. We talked a lot about Hulk Hogan. How about a little Hollywood Hogan?
Ooh, good start.
My favorite Hulk Hogan WCW story is that like all the action figures would ring up as Hulk Hogan. And you would scan them.
True.
So, and I guess he got residuals off of every action figure that was sold. So that's by far is my favorite Hulk Hogan story.
Now, we have some stuck cards here. These are, pretty old. We've got the Nitro Girls card here of Shay.
Yeah, baby.
Okay.
Let's see here. We got Rick Steiner. Now, that is an action shot right
Love
there.
Rick Steiner. Woo, woo, the dog-faced gremlin. His son, Braun Breaker, is like an up-and-coming, like, star in the WWE now.
We talked about this guy earlier. This is a very young-looking Chris Jericho here.
Yep, as a TV champion.
How about that? And yeah, it comes full circle. That's
Same
right before
belt.
he jumped ship.
And we're going to get the next pack open here before I reveal the 5th card, and you'll understand why, because we need to breeze through that one. We got Bill Goldberg on the pack here. This other card in the pack is Chris Benoit. We'll just skip right over that one.
Yep.
Put that at the bottom. And then here we go. All right, so pack 2, we've got looks like Giant from the from NWO here. This looks like a sticker card.
Yep. When he joined the second time, that was his second time in the NWO.
Now, what this one is also some of these
everybody was in the NWO at least a couple times. I mean,
Yes,
they had so many different iterations.
Stevie Ray was in the NWO.
This is
I'm sure they'll cover all of this in the Rock's WCW documentary.
I love Lodi, Raven's Flock.
Now that is a badly damaged card, and unfortunately, a couple of these are going to be like this. I got one more pack after this, but damn, there's a couple of good ones here. We got Ric Flair. That's a classic look right there. And the red too.
Himself.
We've got one of the guys who intro I really liked was Disco Inferno.
Yes, with the disco ball.
There was that wrestling game on N64, the WCW one. I used to use him a lot. And then to wrap up this pack, we got Rey Mysterio Jr.
There you go. Still wrestling to this day.
It's unbelievable that that pro wrestlers can manage to have
like him and Jericho are still working like 20-minute matches.
Well, Sting just retired like earlier this year,
right?
And Sting's like 63 years old.
It's true.
Don't like this sound as I take these stuck cards all together. They have been in there for a while. One that was not stuck, and he was on the pack earlier, Goldberg.
Yep.
I mean, that's a quintessential Goldberg shot right there.
WCW's downfall started when they ended the Goldberg undefeated streak at Starrcade 98.
Unfortunately, here are more damaged cards due to the stickiness, but we got a Sick Boy here.
Sick Boy, part of the flock.
And then a couple Nitro Girls here. We got Fire.
Yep.
And then AC Jazz. Yep. No relation to AC Green. And then and then we wrap the pack with Eddie Guerrero.
Imagine if she was related to AC Green.
I don't know why I connected. Besides the AC thing, I don't know why I went
there. Do you think AC Jazz and AC Green get together and discuss Central Air?
Yeah.
Who's your HVAC company? Oh, okay. They should have an HVAC podcast. All right, I think we've gone off the rails here.
Wasn't OJ Simpson's best friend AC? He was AC, right?
AC Cowlings?
Al Cowlings or whatever.
Al Cowlings, yeah.
Yeah, AC.
Oh man, we had a good day today. I gotta say, there was a lot of wrestling, a little bit of basketball. We knew we were going to go wrestling heavy today, but I think we did some really good packs here today.
Well, yeah, a lot of tomfoolery and a lot of interesting packs, but I think there's only one way to close out the show, buddy.
And that is the starting lineup figure 5. Now it's because we have a guest, it'll be 6 questions, 3 each. You got 3 guesses, 3 questions each to try and figure out who I'm going to unbox today. Now, if you tuned in for a baseball pack, this will be a baseball starting lineup, so I don't totally let you down here. Now, it's a baseball starting lineup, and that's all you're getting. With that, we begin the questions for the figure 5.
All right, I'm going to ask a very stupid, specific question. Does this wrestler have anything to do with professional wrestling? Like, did he ever appear in WWE, WCW?
You know, that's a great question, and I don't know if I have any. The answer is no, but I really wish I had looked into that a little more because maybe I could have themed them together. But good opening question. Next question.
So this is a baseball player who had to do with wrestling. Am I getting that
right?
No.
This is just a baseball player from the 90s. It doesn't have anything to do with wrestling. It was a good idea by Jared that I wish I had thought of, but no. So this is just we're pulling a baseball player, and I got to lower that so nobody maybe gets a glance of it. But right. And then he predominant in the 90s. So there you go, and into the OOs a little bit.
Okay, NL or AL player.
This is an American League player, and he played his whole career in the AL.
Okay.
Played his whole career in the AL, and he dipped into the early 2000s a little bit. So
even through the 2000s, actually. Now that I'm looking here,
through 2000s. Is this player in the Hall of Fame?
Yes.
Ooh. Man, I'm gonna go. Was this a player? Okay, what team did this player spend the majority of his career on?
So let's see.
I don't know that should we allow him to ask a very specific question like that? Because we usually ask like yes or no questions.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, we can phrase that if we could phrase that in a different way.
Like, okay. Did he play with X team?
Did he play? Okay, that's fine.
All right, go ahead, ask it.
Did he play for an AL East team?
Yes.
Okay.
Good rephrase. Good rephrase there. Each got one question each here, and I think we're still in the weeds a little bit.
Yes.
Did this player ever win the Cy Young Award or any major award?
No Cy Youngs, but a 7-time Gold Glove and a 5-time All-Star. And because you asked Cy Young, I'll give you yes, it's a pitcher. So Fancy's got one more question here, and then you guys got to take your guess.
I think I know who it is.
I have a guess as well.
Yeah, I have a guess as well.
Well, you can just blurt it out. You can ask a more specific question. Okay, but if you ask a more specific question, I might beat you to the punch.
All right, I'm gonna just guess. I'm gonna guess right now.
Okay.
Mike Mussina.
That would have been my guess.
That is correct, folks.
Yeah.
Nice. Good job, Fancy.
There we go.
Good job. You know, I was a little worried there for a minute that like you weren't getting narrowed down close enough, but yeah, there you go. And pictured in the orange Orioles uniform there. Excuse me. You know, he actually wore 42 in his rookie year.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I just Baseball Reference had that. Let's unbox this bad boy.
Those are so cool. I found, you know what, at the neighborhood card store, I found the Michael Jordan figure from like the late 80s. They're selling it for like $30. I nearly pulled the trigger and bought it. I was thinking about you with this, and I think those figures are so cool. Very vintage.
I'll say this, $30 for a loose Jordan in the early 80s. That's a pretty good deal. So there you see Mike Mussina there. You know, that looks like a spring training photo from what I could tell in the background. Also wearing the black Oriole jersey, which they did not wear in that era. And then we have Mr. Mussina himself there. So there he is getting ready. The pose is good. It's close. I always love when the pose in the picture matches the figure. On the back, we got Mussina. It almost kind of looks like a Giants uniform to a degree, like the modern ones. But love that black and orange piping down the pants and the stripes. And I figured, let's go with Maryland. You're in Maryland. Figure that was the theme there.
Orioles could win the World Series this year potentially.
They look good against the Yankees here this week. That's for sure.
Yep.
And he will be joining the starting lineup studio audience next week. Now, this is a Fensty-themed one, and since he's oldies, I figured let's go with a bunch of older people. Shaq was not an older guy, but he was unboxed last week. Then we got an 89 Keith Hernandez, 1998 Classic Doubles Don Maynard, which that one came with a Joe Namath. And then a Walt Clyde Frazier, a man that Fensty has probably spent more hours with on TV than maybe his own wife.
Yeah, that's very true. I can confirm that. And I've got his autograph right up here. I'm looking at them right now on 2 tickets as well. So I got to meet him. And I got to interview him one time as well, promoting his restaurant.
What kind of restaurant does he have?
It's Clyde's. I think it's just bar food and stuff like that. So whatever it takes to get him on, man. I mean, he's great. And that's why everyone who got to enjoy him, especially on color commentary, let alone playing guard for the championship Knicks, he's a treasure. He
is a new. I don't throw this term around a lot. He's a New York icon. Like, he may be a low key New York icon, but he is an icon in New York.
They don't win the 1970 NBA championship in Game 7 without the speed, because it showed me that a way you beat slower paced teams rather than going toe to toe with them is by utilizing that speed, and that's what the Knicks did in Game 7 to prevail and win their first title. Thanks.
And everybody talks about Willis Reed coming out of the tunnel, and that was all good and well, but Clyde went off that game.
Yeah, well, I mean, that whole thing lasted about 2-3 minutes into the game, and then you still had the other 45 minutes, and that's where Clyde completely took over.
So we started with basketball, had a nice helping of wrestling in there, a little dessert of baseball, and we close it with basketball. Fensty, thank you so much for joining us today. Please promote away. What do we got going on here?
Well, guys, it was an honor and a privilege to join both of you, and getting to work with you was some of the most fun days that I've had in this business too. You can find me on social media on X and Instagram at Fensty Sports. You can hear me on SiriusXM most Tuesdays, 2 p.m. Eastern, for a show called DFS Dunks and Dimes, an all basketball show, and also Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern on Elite Sports Game Time. It's a live action show. We go to the live games. We play the highlights. We talk about who's on the leaderboard for the night in sports for basketball, baseball, and hockey. And for those in the Maryland area, the smallest radio station by size, largest in your hearts, cool oldies 1450 WTHU. I do a classic oldies rock DJ music show from 3 to 6 p.m. called Fensty in the Afternoon.
Which is, it's good stuff. We love it. And also, don't forget Jared. He's got allaboutthejersey.com, talking Devils there. New episode of Total Hockey Now, which we mentioned off the top of the show. Jared filled in for @AntRivera86, whose dental work, I believe, is going. He's recovering okay, a little painful, but pretty good otherwise. And then, of course, we like to call it Poker with Production Values. YouTube @JaredMoorePoker to catch some of his content there from hands he's played at various tournaments. Jared, anything to close?
No, I think you nailed it.
All right. So on that road, so there we go. So don't forget, rate, review, subscribe, all that good stuff on Twitter, Total Hockey Now, Facebook, YouTube, all those places. But we're at Fensty Sports. Justin Fensterman, thanks for joining us today. For Mr. Jared Moore, I am at Pucking Thoughts. Going to be back with you next Wednesday. It's my birthday edition and Jared's birthday edition. We're born 3 days apart. Go figure. We'll be back with you next Wednesday on R&R here on the Rip and Riff YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook network.